I'm going to change this center one, cut that down the bottom, and put this one on. Now when you tie off your threads, you're better off to wrap it around your finger and then run it through like that, so that it's really knotted off well. Okay, if this was just a two thin threads, you'd be able to do that and it would probably pull through the eye of the upper looper. It may or may not do that, which means I might have to cut everything as if I'm changing the threads completely. But that's the first step. So the second step is raise the foot, raise the needle, turn your tension dials to 0, because some people say that you can just run it through changing the thread with your tension dials on. I don't agree with that, because what it does is it places a lot of tension on the tension dial on the inside when a knot goes through. So what I do is turn the tension dials off so that you don't get any tension. Cut the thread on your needle. Now if that was changed up here at the top, I would pull that all the way through, but I'm only doing it because I'm changing the upper looper. So pull it through. Now see how it's actually got stuck and it's not going through the eye of the upper looper. So what I'm going to do is just cut it there, get rid of that thread. Now this is, I don't want that bottom looper in my way, so I'm just going to bring that away from the bottom looper. See how it was caught around the bottom looper? So you want to make sure that that's got a clear run all the way through and the bottom looper has its clear run. Now we'll just thread it into the eye of the upper looper. There we go. Now we just have to thread the needle again. That's done. And now we'll just turn our tension dials 4, 3, 7. Lower the foot and run it through. So you can see how really lovely that is. It's you know, you could almost use that, you know, when you're, say, attaching a lining to a skirt. You know, you could do this if, say for example, you do a lot of it in black. You could run a lot of this off and then just use that instead of actually creating it. Be a nice quick way of doing it. So let's just do some onto here, just to show you. Again, I don't have the blade up. Now look at that. Isn't that pretty? You look at the difference between that and that. So that in itself could be a lovely feature on something. You can see how big and thick it is, and it comes up really nice. I'll do one onto a white fabric so you can actually see it better. So here's some cream fabric. It's boring old cream. It's not a very nice fabric. Now look at that, isn't that pretty? Doesn't that look lovely? So that's how you can create a really nice feature, and this is just a domestic overlocker. You know, it's not an industrial overlocker. I don't have it, well, I do have some industrial machines out in the garage. They're not even set up, they're not even plugged in. I do all my clothing alteration work on domestic sewing machines, because domestic sewing machines can do everything that you want. And over the coming months, I'll show you the different machines that I have and how I use them and why. Oh, and just on that point, this particular domestic overlocker probably costs around $500 Australian. But keep in mind that you can also go and pick up a second-hand one. Just if you're going to pick up a second-hand overlocker, don't buy anything that's got any rust in it. I did have a lady come to me once to see if I could help her with the overlocker and threading it, and it was just completely rusted. I mean, you know, I just wouldn't have bought it if it was me. But I have been fortunate to pick up overlockers at garage sales where, and this is a sad fact, that, you know, husbands buy them for their wives, thinking that they might do some sewing, and then they can't work out how to thread it. I picked one up in Sydney. It was advertised for $250, and when I went over to have a look at it, it was a $750 overlocker. I mean, I know the prices of my overlockers, and they wanted $250 for it, and all that was wrong was it was threaded incorrectly. So I gave them $250 and left, and I got a really great machine. So, you know, that can happen. And there's enough videos online with different companies, Janome, Singer, you know, Benina, all of them. There are videos there on how to use their overlockers. So all you've got to do is go to the website for the machine, you know, that, like, for example, mine's Janome. I could go to Janome, and there are going to be tutorials there on how to use those machines. So have fun. Rolled hems are great, really easy to do, a little bit of setup, but nothing major. And happy altering. There's one more thing that I thought I would show you, and that is, so I've gone around once on the black one, and it doesn't seem to be as nice, I guess you could say, as the red one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around again. So I do this sometimes when I think that it would look better if it was done a second time. And this is another really good reason why you wouldn't have the blade up. So I've come around to the beginning, and now I'm just going to need to be able to see it. See how that looks? It's actually it's a lot thicker, and it feels nice and secure now, whereas when I went around the first time, whether it's, you know, different thread or it wasn't quite as good as the red one. So you can do the overlocking twice.